I think the main theme of the story is about August and what his problems were and his friends.
I agree with that, and I agree with your idea. But I also think that the main thing of the story is because most of the kids judge August for the way he looks and not because of his personality. The main theme is just because you're not perfect on the outside doesn't mean you're not perfect on the inside. Because most people, when they first look at August, they judge him for the way he looks and not because of his personality, and that drives them away from him.
I agree with that idea. And I think everyone is different in their own way. And what I got that from the book was that the way people treated August when they looked at him, and that thoughts, personalities, and perspectives are always different because of the different perspectives in the book and how they affect the story.
I agree with that, and I think you're beautiful no matter what you look like on the inside and out. Yeah, I agree with Jordis, and you don't judge people because it's just rude, how people say don't judge books by their cover. It's the same way with people.
I see the main conflict in the story being the way kids judge him for the way he looks. Just like I said before.
I agree with that because Augie having to go to school is it hurts him. I don't know.
What do you think, Corbin?
I think that people just make fun of Augie because of his looks and not because of his inside. That just because he looks weird and they say he looks like a freak doesn't mean he's cruel and mean like that on the inside. He's actually a nice and kind person.
I agree with that because I think some of the main conflicts are August's face because of the way people treat him, and him having to be in school because of the kids who were making up the game called the Plague.
I agree with the idea that August, people make fun of him because of how he looks, because I realized that the Plague deal with them at school.
I agree with that. I want to add on. So Julian is the one that started the black game with Jiggle, and then he's been leaving notes and Jack and Augie Ball saying I hate you and stuff like that. I agree with Jordis because when Julian was being mean to Augie, because when they were showing Augie around the school when they were in the auditorium, Julian said, "Hey, what?" Said, "Dude, what happened to your face? Were you in a fire or something?" And that was rude.
I agree with that because you really shouldn't even if he was hurt in a fire, even if he was deformed in a fire, starting it out like that, saying it like that is really rude. You should get to know him before you outright ask him that, because it's just really, really rude to start off a conversation with a person that you haven't met before saying that.
I agree with Cadence that you should try to be friends with them before you start off really rude like that.
I think since people make fun of August, it strengthens August to deal with the fact that he's different and he can't change that, and other people can't just make fun of him just because it's happened to him. You can't stop what's going to happen.
Does that relate to the theme? That idea of strengthening that conflict, strengthening
Yes.
Augie. So how? Anyway.
Because I have something.
Well, what I think about the main conflict, or what the perspective of Julian is that, well, he wants to be the popular one and is bragging and making fun of people because he thinks that will make him feel better when he doesn't think about others.
What do you think, Austin? I agree with that because, I think he's being mean to Augie because of his face. He's trying to be cool to other people that he's like being mean.
Well, I agree with that in a way, but I also think that, well, I agree with Austin's idea and Kip's idea, because I think that Julian acts he's really mean to kids and he bullies them, and especially August, just to act like he's cool and to get everyone on his side so then they won't be bullied by him.
Yeah, I agree with that. But he just, for a lot of things, he just does it because it gets a lot of attention from a lot of different people. He likes the attention.
I agree with that because, because like he's trying to get more attention, trying to get more friends, and trying to be more popular. But what he doesn't notice is that nobody's playing that game with him. Nobody's letting him be mean to Jack or August anymore. And so now he's losing friends. And I agree with Jordis because, like, at the beginning of the book, when August first came to school, they were all staring at him. And then, like, little after the school year started, they all started joining Julian and being mean to Augie, and then Jack was starting to be friends with August, even though Mr. Tushman told Jack to be friends with August, but Jack said that I'm not being friends with you because Mr. Tushman said that he's being friends with August because he actually likes August. And since they started being really good friends, everybody joined Julian and started being mean to Jack and August. And then where we are right now, everybody's starting to think that it's being dumb, and we're not liking it. And
I agree with that, and I also think that they should give August a chance because he might turn out to be a nice kid if they let him have a chance, or like some people hang out with him. And looks don't mean everything.
I think that I agree with your guys' state ideas. I think that Julian's just starting to get because he's already took Jack from Julian because Jack and Julian used to be friends. Julian's just starting to get jealous that August is taking more of his friends.
I agree with that because now Jack is being nice to Augie, and Julian's just being a big bully.
I agree with that.
Does.
I agree with that idea a lot because Julian almost acts like since Jack since Jack is friends with Augie, he almost acts as if he can't be friends with Jack because he hangs out with Augie, and everyone thinks that Augie is the freak kid that nobody hangs out with besides Jack, and so now Jack is the freak.
All right. We have to end on that note for this round. Good job. Outside circle, what are some of the things that the inside circle did well? They did. They used a lot of good discussion connectors. Right?
They used the examples from the book.
Yeah, we had a lot of evidence from the book.
They were always asking, what do you think, Austin? What do you think, Kit? What do you think, Cadence?
Right, bringing people into the conversation. Trigger.
They were making eye
Yep, good eye contact.
not speaking like super quietly.
Yeah, the volume was good. Anything else that they did well?
Well, what I noticed was that we were stuck on the conflict for a long time. We didn't have
Okay,
to
so
move on to the
let's hold that for a second. Another good positive.
They had good vocabulary.
Yeah, they use good academic words. Good. So let's switch. What are some things that the outside circle is going to want to keep in mind that you saw the inside circle do that you're like, oh, I think we should do this a little bit better, right?
Use examples and transitions.
Okay, so even more transitions and examples. Yep. Peter?
Don't stay on the one main thing.
Okay, how do we do that though? How do we move forward when we see that we're stuck?
After like a couple people and we're stuck, like somebody just goes and like sums up like what everybody said, and then move on. Go to the next
Yeah,
thing.
synthesize, put together what has just been said, summarize it, and move on. Yeah, good.
So like somebody thinks that eventually they'll get stuck, so they'll start thinking of ideas
Yeah.
for what to get stuck, so somebody just be ready right there.
That's right. Someone be ready. So, and it does take someone to step in and go, okay, we need to move on. So someone kind of can take that role. There are other people that are just plain not going to do that.
Yeah,
There are
because
those of you who know
I
how to do that.
wanted to say that.
Yeah.
And then I wanted
Go
to
ahead.
stop in the middle. They could like so they could just say it right away and already have the idea in their mind, so they can just go off and then they can go through subjects a lot faster and get like a lot of the book covered.
Good.
Well-
Nick, did you have something?
No.
Okay.
What I noticed is that some of us kept on going like
Okay, on the pillars.
yeah.
Yeah, and that, a lot of you could have probably referred to your notes a little bit more,
Yeah.
explicitly drawing on your preparation.
I had to when I was like stuck on the part where Julian in the auditorium thing. I'm
Yeah,
like, oh
okay.
shoot.
Okay, and did they get to all three prompts?
No.
Yeah, so only two of them. So the outside circle, when you move in, you can start there. You can start anywhere you want to. Okay. So right now, quickly and quietly switch places.
Do we gotta move our stuff too?
Yep.
Under the chair.
Don't worry. You can do it, Nick.
Okay, the outside circle now, we'll be watching for good discussion connectors.
I believe in you.
And there's a couple. Alright. Okay, this is one of those little copy pens there. Alright. I'll put 10 minutes back on.
I'm scared. I don't like being presented.
I was really nervous. Yeah, I'm ready. Ready? Outside circle. He's not ready yet. All right. Begin.
I'd like to bring up the topic of how Leah, August's sister,
whenever she went on that 4-week vacation, whenever she came home, she saw August how other people usually saw August.
I agree with that idea, but I also think that she noticed what he still looked like, but she didn't actually see. She saw the outside of him and not the inside of him this time. It's like if you cut open a steak that's hard, that's like all burnt on the inside and burnt on the outside, and then look on the inside and it's perfect. It's just
So like I agree with you, Nick, that she came home after her vacation and she saw him like other people do. But that was because she felt like a normal person without other people thinking that her brother was a freak. And she came home to like think that, but then she just noticed that that was the outside of him, not the inside.
I think she like kind of forgot that she had a not normal brother, so she was expecting like a normal brother when she got home.
Yeah, I agree with that because I think when she was gone, she forgot how he looked, and she probably wasn't just thinking about him, so she just forgot how he looked.
I agree with everyone who's brought up this topic because I just think she wasn't used to seeing someone like him. And I also believe that like Jillian also saw that in August whenever he first saw him. And so that's why he treats him so poorly.
So what I think you're saying, Trigger, is like you're bringing up the conflict, which I think the conflict is Julian in the book because Julian's been starting to be really mean to Augie and Jack because Jack started hanging out with August, but he thought that Jack shouldn't hang out with August because he looked like a freak, but he wasn't actually a freak because on the inside he was more than just a good-looking person on the outside. He was a nice person on the inside, and they didn't see that from him.
well. I'm gonna switch off from that, but I'm gonna. I think that I think it's kind of bad that Augie thinks that Jack was told to be his friend. I don't think that's actually what Mr. The principal said, and I think Jack was told to hang out with him, but I don't think he was told to be his best friend. And then they became best friends, and that's. Yeah. Jace, what do you think?
I think that when Julian was being mean to Augie because of his face, because Julian asked when Augie went to the school for like the tour, and in the auditorium, Julian asked a rude question, and he said, "Hey, dude, did you get in like a fire or something?" And then I think that he should have got to know him a little better before he asked that rude of a question.
What do you think, Karina? I think I agree with that because Julian is being rude, and when they're in the auditorium, Julian was asking Augie questions, and some of them were really rude to ask.
Toby, what do you think?
I like to bring us to like a different topic about the Halloween incident at the school, the bleeding screen.
I don't really see why Jack would talk to Julian and even say that in the first place. say that if he looked like August, then he would probably kill himself, because that means, like, I think maybe he was trying to become cool with Julian, or he was just trying to, like, I don't know, become better friends with Julian, and then maybe, like, later down the line introduce Julian to August.
Yeah, I agree with that he was trying to be cool, and yeah, so that way he could kind of just like ditch August, because he said August was following him around. So my idea builds upon you three, and like Jovi said that Julian's like just going all over, and Jack's like was being a little bit rude for a little bit. But then once Julian started talking to him a little bit more, Jack kind of like started standing up for Augie, because Jack didn't know that he was actually going to become friends with August because of how he looked. But they became best friends, and like, yeah.
Well, I think I'm going to switch to perspective, and I think the perspective really matters in this, because it depends on the way you see everything. Like the optical illusions, it depends on how you see it. Like sees August in a different way, and then then a different way than Jack sees him or Via sees him, and we get like raw perspectives of what they see instead of what Augie sees them looking at him like. We get to see inside their brain and see what they're thinking of August. So yeah.
I agree with Nick, because I believe the author is trying to help us get an understanding of what it would be like to be around August.
That reminds me in the book of the spelling of when we were in Justin's perspective. What do you think about that, Francesca?
I think that the perspectives are really important, because it gives you different ideas of how one person sees things and how the other person sees things. Like when Justin he went to the subway and he saw Julian's perspective and thought that he was mean. And when it was Jack and Augie's turn, they both had a different perspective of him, but it came up to that he's really mean.
I think back in the eyes section, all the eyes on the parts, like in the first chapter, August doesn't have any eyes. Like he doesn't see he doesn't see why people look at him so weird. He doesn't understand it. He knows that he's different and that they're taking different looks at him, but he doesn't see other people like him. So yeah, what do you think about the other chapters, the other parts, Trigger?
Well, I think there were a lot of different ways that they were shown. This is kind of leading off of what you were saying. So I believe that August looks at himself and says, like, hey, it's fine that you look this way. But I can't remember what page it is, but on one of the pages, whenever he was in the cafeteria, he saw that everyone in the cafeteria was staring at him, and then he had realized that he actually was not used to being stared at. Boy.
What do you think, Jace?
I think that just because Augie has his face is different doesn't mean that he needs to be treated different, because I'm sure you guys have heard the saying, treat others the way you guys want to be treated. So I think that they should treat Augie like how they would treat Summer or Jack or Julian.
Awesome, guys. All right, you did a great job. Let's celebrate what the Insight Circle did well this time. Corbin?
I like Traeger's first idea with whatever he said, I think that, and I like his vocabulary.
Okay, and Traeger actually started, I don't, if I remember correctly, you didn't actually say perspective, but you started with an example of perspective from feeling. Yeah, that was a great artful way of starting. Keely?
I like how they had great volume and like they all took turns and like they said, "What about you, Karina?" Because Karina didn't talk, but then once Francesca said, "What about you?"
Right, we invited people in, and the volume of those who normally might speak more quietly, you did push yourself. That's great. Joyce?
They have different subjects. They said they were talking they got to different subjects.
Okay, yeah, they did address other subjects in their discussions. Yes, Paige?
I think Nick did a really good job with like switching to new topics regularly, like he would in a normal conversation.
Right.
Good job doing that because he just like he agreed with everyone's statements and then moved on to the next topic.
Connected some ideas. Yeah, good. Cool.
Good vocabulary usage and going through the book a lot.
Right, even one time when Tony said, that reminds me of a part in the book where, yeah, that was good. Keely?
Like they didn't say they didn't say let's talk about the conflict or something. Like they said let's talk about the Halloween.
Okay, yeah, referring to the book rather than the literary elements, but like the paper part, right? Okay, you guys have done so well. What I'm going to do, before we go, what are some things that for next time that we all do a Socratic discussion, which will be next quarter, what are some things that you'll want to keep in mind that you can get even better on? Right?
Little bit less like and
Okay, yeah, and that we prevent that with what?
knowing what we want to say.
Right, thinking of what you want to say before you say it, so the preparation. Trigger.
I realized that like I kind of dodged like Nick's question.
So not missing some of those questions, yeah. Awesome.
I couldn't.
Okay, so if you didn't talk as much as you think you should have, challenge yourself, good. Corbin?
No conflict. That's going with Austin, like that everybody should speak
Right.
same amount, not
Even if you
just
have more
one
of a
person,
balance.
not just like two people just speaking over.
Right.
People should keep more eye contact.
Okay, better eye contact, okay? Keely?
Like staying on a topic and then summing it up and going to the next one.
Yes,
And
that's
like
really important.
like if you run out, just like go to another part of the book that you thought was really.
Yeah, Kate?
Maybe a quicker starting point. Like you guys did a pretty good job with your starting. You did a good job.
Yeah.
It was kind of like, okay, it took us a little while before we finally started. We were kind of just like scared. We didn't know what we were going to do.
I didn't know we started already.
Okay, awesome.
That's like we are not going to communicate. That's like just a real conversation because everybody was worried that we were going to communicate.
Yeah, so and it's no big deal. All right, one more thing.
Most people are so scared to realize that we started.
Yeah, so we have this in that. Yep, all right, you guys did a fabulous job, and let me take a break, and when you come back, we're gonna review, you're gonna do a self-evaluation, okay? Thanks.